Conflict in the Middle East. This weekend, new anti-government protests erupted at two universities in Iran as the regime grapples with domestic discontent and the threat of U.S. strikes. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is in Tel Aviv with new reporting. So, Charlie, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Tom. Iran's foreign minister is still pushing for a diplomatic solution to the rising tensions in the region as the United States floods this region with the kind of American firepower not seen here in the Middle East since the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Firepower like the USS Ford aircraft carrier, almost within striking distance in the Mediterranean Sea. Heavy lift transport planes taking off from the UK, and F-35 stealth fighter jets filmed on a runway on the Greek island of Crete. Iran is on a full-court press trying to talk America out of an all-out war.
Thank you so much for having me.
Iran's foreign minister spoke with Face the Nation's Margaret Brennan.
Right now we are negotiating only nuclear, and there is no other subject.
But Iran also has one of the largest arsenals of ballistic missiles in the region. Israeli intelligence sources we spoke with confirmed stockpiles are back to the same level seen before Israel and the U.S. launched attacks last June.
And now we are even in a better situation than previous war. So, as a matter of fact, we are in a powerful position to defend ourselves.
Israel and many U.S. bases are within missile range. And President Trump is growing increasingly impatient with the Iranian regime, says Special Envoy Steve Witkoff.
He's curious as to why they haven't, I don't want to use the word capitulated, but why they haven't capitulated.
Witkoff and his team are now scheduled to meet with the Iranian delegation in Geneva on Thursday. And on Saturday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is scheduled to come here to Israel. That diplomatic timeline doesn't rule out military action, Tom. When the U.S. bombed Iran last June, President Trump gave Iran a 14-day window to comply to demands, then bombed 3 days later.
All right, Charlie D'Agata with the news out of the Middle East. Charlie, thank you. And now to the war in Ukraine. Today, Russia fired scores of missiles and drones at targets across the country. The capital, Kyiv, and the Black Sea port of Odessa, hardest hit. CBS's Holly Williams in Kyiv for us tonight as the war marks a major milestone this week. So, Holly, good evening to you.
Good evening, Tom. Ukraine says Russia launched nearly 50 missiles and 297 drones overnight. Like many people here, we spent the early hours of this morning in a bomb shelter. The Russian strikes nearly always come at night here in Ukraine. Early this morning in Kyiv, they were still putting out the fires in this residential neighborhood, where at least one person was killed. Yet even at Ukraine's darkest hour, there are moments of joy. This month, 157 Ukrainian captives, many of them soldiers, were released by Russia in a prisoner swap. This man got through to his mother on the phone and told her everything is wonderful. But 4 years of war have left deep scars. At this mental health clinic, they treat former prisoners of war who were traumatized by what they experienced in Russian captivity. Vladislav Chuhuyenko is an officer in Ukraine's military and was released last summer after nearly 3.5 years as a prisoner. He told us he was beaten every day in the first year and tortured with electric shocks to his hands, feet, ears, and genitals. How did you survive that? I had subordinates for whom I was an example. He told us if I broke, they would also break. His twin brother Stanislav is still being held by Russia. Chuhuyenko told us now he's fighting to get his brother home safely. Nearly 4 years into this war, Russia now controls around 20% of Ukraine's territory. But Tom, this past week, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that his country's forces have recently clawed back over 100 square miles.
Holly Williams on the ground for us in Kyiv tonight. Holly, thank you. Okay, straight ahead, why thousands of college students pulled an all-nighter this weekend, and they were not